All right, Tejas, we're doing a brand new problem.
Woo.
You've never seen this one before.
Okay.
Trust me. All right, we have two equations: y equals 2x plus 4, or y plus 2. Ah!
Still recovering.
Y plus 2x equals 14. 2y equals negative 4x plus 28. Let's do it. You want to do substitution method? No.
No, let's do the other way.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you. This is substitution method. This is addition subtraction. Because look, I added the 2 there, so it's not like I have y all by itself. Nice.
Okay, so let's do what you think.
Oh, let's do it the way you wanted to do it originally. Let's just move this 4x over to the other side. So I have y plus 2x equals 14, and 2y plus 4x equals 28. We cool?
Yep.
Good. All I did was I wrote the top one. I didn't change it at all.
Yeah.
And I wrote the bottom one,
Didn't
but I
change.
just moved the 4x over to the other side. Because I want to align the y's and align the x's. Now, what do I do?
Why is that
Y is what?
negative?
It's negative when it's over here on the right-hand side.
Okay, gotcha.
I moved it to the left-hand side of the
Right.
equal sign. It's a positive.
Okay.
Cool?
Yep. Awesome.
Now what do I do?
Multiply.
Multiply what?
2.
Still being ambiguous and vague. All right, fine. Yes, you multiply the 2, or the 2 by the top. Everything on top by 2. Okay. So 2 times y is just 2y. 2 times 2x is 4x. And
28.
this is 28. I just cheated, and I used my finger to erase it, and then I would write a different line if I were actually solving this out in scratch paper or whatever. Now let's do what? What do we do?
We subtract.
We subtract this, subtract that, subtract that. Yeah. Right? Or we multiply by everything by negative 1. That's what I would rather do. That's added. So, what is 2y minus 2y?
0.
0. What is 4x
It's
minus
all
4x?
equals 0.
0. Equals 28 minus 28.
0.
0. When does 0 equals 0?
Always.
Always. So what are we looking at here?
No lines at all.
Now we're looking at lines.
It's just straight. Is it on the base?
No, it's
No.
not on the base. The question is, when do these two lines cross? Here, let me show you the trick that I made. Let me show you how I messed with you. 0 equals 0.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm going to solve this equation for y. Get it all by itself. Is that all right with you?
Mm-hmm.
Y equals negative 2x plus 14.
Mm-hmm.
What's the slope?
2. Negative 2.
Negative 2. Good. I'm going to solve this equation all by itself for y.
Okay.
Just divide by 2. Y equals negative 2x plus 14. What's the slope of this line?
Negative 2.
So, what kind of lines are they?
Parallel.
They're parallel lines.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you screwed with me.
No, I didn't screw with you.
No, with this. That confuses.
Why does that confuse you?
0 equals 0.
0 does equal 0.
But I thought it was... Never mind. Well, I thought it was like 0. Like there was no line. Or it was flat.
No, it's just telling you the fact that 0 does equal 0. And you say, yes, all the time.
Okay.
When does 0 equal 0? All the
Oh,
time.
so this is the opposite of the last equation where 0
No.
equals 4.
What this is look at this. Look at these two equations. Look at them very closely.
Uh-huh. They're the same.
They're the same what?
Equation.
They're the same line.
Oh.
I gave you two different lines, but I masterfully crafted it. Actually, kind of screwed up in the beginning. I crafted it so that they look a little bit different.
Uh-huh.
All I did was I took this 2x to the other side and I multiplied everything by 2.
Right.
But that didn't do anything. I didn't change anything. These are the same line. They just happen to be two lines that happen to be parallel to each other. Not only are they parallel, they have the same y-intercept. Those are called overlapping lines.
So they're on top of each other.
They're on top of each other. So when do they cross?
Always.
All the time. When 0 equals 0.
Okay. Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of
So
sense.
now you're saying, hey, how can two parallel lines cross?
If they're on top of
If
each
they're
other.
the same dang line. Right? Like this is negative 2, so you start at 14, you go down 2, and across them, so you go down like this. And the other line is, you start at 14, and you go down 2, and then when do they cross? They always cross.
Okay.
That's very ugly. I just got excited. When do they cross? When 0 equals 0. So,
Always.
slap in the face math, they always cross.
Okay.
So this is a little bit different than the one previous, because the previous one I had something like 3 or something like that. Now these two lines, what can you tell me about these two lines?
They
What?
don't cross. Well, they do cross. But
No, they don't.
they don't.
They're parallel.
They're parallel. Oh, okay. They're
They have
parallel.
different
yeah. They have
y
different
intercepts.
Yeah.
So this one goes
So
over here,
like
this
down
one goes
there,
over
yeah.
here. They'll never cross. Parallel lines can cross never
Or always.
or always.
Okay.
It's very rare when they cross always, because you're talking about when these two lines are exactly on top of each other.
That would mean that they would have to be exactly the same.
It's probably more often that they cross never, but when we make these math tests for you, we engineer it so that, I mean, it could cross always, it could cross never. So when you solve simultaneous equations, there's three different kinds of answers you could get. You could get a straight up answer where you have an x and a y, and that's where they cross. You know what I mean?
Right.
You could have an answer that is dumb like 0 equals 4. And what does that mean?
It's parallel.
That means they're parallel lines
And they never touch.
that never touch. You
Unless
could have
7
also
equals 4.
another answer like 5 equals 5. Then what does that tell you?
They're parallel.
They're parallel,
And they always touch.
and they always touch because of the same line. Because they just look a little bit different from each other, but this is actually describing the exact same line. Does that make sense? Alright. That's the third concept about lines that I want you to know. You are now dubbed, I dubbed the master of lines. I think that there's no other things I can, oh wait, there's one more thing I need to kind of cover with you is, if they cross at one specific point, how can you check to see whether or not they are perpendicular to each other?
Wait, can you repeat that?
If they cross at one specific point, how can you check to see if they are perpendicular to each other?
Well, don't you just look there?
That won't tell you. What you do is you solve the y equals mx plus b
Oh,
form.
where they cross like here.
Yeah, where they just
like
cross
right
at some
there.
random point like this. But how can you tell whether or not it crosses like this, okay,
Uh-huh.
or it crosses exactly perpendicular like this, where there's a right angle there? I'll tell you. You find the y equals mx plus b of both of those equations, and if this it has a slope of -2 and this has a slope of positive 1/2, then those slopes are negative reciprocals of each other,
Okay.
and therefore they cross at a perpendicular, at a right angle.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How can I mess with you? All right, here, pause the stop recording, and let's just talk about